Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 1184. 1984 was the Olympics in Los Angeles, and I was living in Southern California in Oxnard, and we were so excited about the Olympics. I went down, walked around the Olympic Village. I got a cup. And that's all I remember about
Mike's Daily Podcast
1184. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Something happened to me yesterday, and it appears on the side of my head are two big scratches. Because I was walking with my dog Basil, no, his name's not Patches, and we were walking through a
Mike's Daily Podcast
forested area of the Cole Canyon Lake Park, and there was a
Mike's
branch that
Daily
I didn't know was going to
Podcast
be there, and well, I walked into it. It was sort of hidden by some leaves, and so I kind of ducked my head, and I thought, oh, once I get past these leaves, I can bring my head up. And then all of a sudden, I got the bonk. Go! And it hurt. Oh, but I wasn't bleeding. And then I got home, and I looked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like a werewolf scratched the side of my head. It's pretty scary. So that was my fun day yesterday. Oh, a couple days ago, Arnold Palmer died, and a lot of people did tributes to Arnold Palmer. And yeah, okay, so his big influence, his big lasting mark on the world, not only the drink with the lemonade and the iced tea, which Marco, who I work with, who does the Marco Minute, he said that it was weird because he was drinking Arnold Palmer's all weekend, and then Arnold Palmer died. It seemed a little weird. What a weird coinkydink. But it was lemonade and iced tea, and no, that's not what killed Arnold Palmer. He was old, but he is well known for being someone that was look who just walked in, a spokesperson for all kinds of products. He made more money being a spokesperson and being on TV all the time and putting his name behind all kinds of golf products and everything. The last, I think most recent thing he was doing was some kind of a old man fertile drug of some kind, maybe Viagra or something. I remember Kevin Nealon was in the commercial with him, and they're driving around in a golf cart. And I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that's great and everything if you can make a living with that. But after a while, if I see you on TV promoting another stupid thing, like Jennifer Garner, right now she's all over TV with her Capital One commercials, and Samuel L. Jackson was before that. After a while, I'm like, you know what? If I see you promoting anything else, you to me are just you're just a shill. I don't care about you. Your opinion, obviously, look who else just walked in, is just completely manipulated by money, and you have lost all credibility with me. And Arnold Palmer had lost credibility with me years ago. Well, I mean, you just saw him promoting every freaking little thing. So beware of that, you potential spokespeople. Don't be like one of these types that you see on the TV late at night doing everything. I can't think of anybody. Cher was doing that for a while. So a couple people walked in. Let's say hi to them real quick.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. What's your topic today?
My topic?
Yeah, what's your, segment today, Mike Matthews?
Let's see, we'll go with the Matthews News.
Exciting.
And somebody else walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the engineer. Yes, Arnold Palmer did promote every little stinking thing. He sure did. But I'm sure his family is thankful for that. Yesterday's show, the last show, was entitled Braggadocio. And it has to do, I guess the word started a hashtag because I guess Donald Trump during the debate said braggadocious. But what was weird was before that even happened, before I realized that was happening, the word braggadocio came to me when I thought of Trump and about certain people that I know in this world that talk a lot about themselves. And they're basically con men. My mom was involved in after she divorced my dad. We had a guy that lived with us for a long time. Who she eventually married was her second husband, but he was a total braggadocio. Talked about himself all the time. He was a total con artist, and my mom will tell you as much. However, oddly enough, she is a huge Trump supporter. Maybe it's because she had that maybe that, you know what? That does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Because that's her type. She puts the Trump signs on her front lawn and everything. She's like in Florida. Braggadocio, though, that makes me think of Trump because it's all hot air, and then when you get to the substance, you can't even find his tax returns. Well, but he does certainly have he has interesting taste in women. Of course, the younger the better, and you've got this model, Melania, and her dress was insane. Her dimensions are unrealistic, and Bill Clinton, of course, was going to go up and shake her hand, and everybody's like, look, oh my gosh, I bet he wants to score with her. He's a total male slut. Don't elect Hillary because you'll get a male slut in the White House again. What sort of weird sexcapades will he be into this time? Well, anywho, I'm tapped out. I'm tapping out. I just tapped out. Can I get out of the ring? Thank you. I'm leaving the ring here at Cafe anyway, and reminding you that MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com has all the past podcast pictures, including this one.
And here's today's podcast picture.
A wonderful picture of, what's it called? Bellani Bay? It's in Alameda. Ballina Bay. It's a marina. Ballina Isle Marina is what they call it, but I was looking at it from Crab Cove in Alameda. Beautiful sunset going on. San Francisco's actually behind that, and the fog you can see is coming in. See that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com and all the other past podcast pictures. Plus, you can also, if you're going to support the show, if you want to do that, you can shop on Amazon. If you were going to buy anything on Amazon, click on that Amazon link and that'll help us out. And there's also PayPal there. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And finally, there's all the past interviews. Matthew's News. Ha! Well, the stopgap funding bill to avoid a federal government shutdown later this week failed to garner enough votes to move forward in the Senate yesterday, with Democrats and Republicans both opposing the measure, according to MSN News and Reuters. The must-pass continuing resolution, or CR, which would keep federal agencies operating from Saturday through December 9th, received only 45 of the 60 votes needed to limit debate and be considered for passage. By the 100-seat, Republican-controlled, Republican in the majority Senate. 40 Democrats and 2 independents opposed the CR because it lacked a $220 million aid package to address the drinking water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Aww. It also drew opposition from 13 Republicans. Yeah. Can't we all work together? Senate leaders said they would explore alternatives to avoid a shutdown. Without an extension, many federal agencies will run out of operating funds when the government fiscal year expires at midnight on Friday. The bill includes $1.1 billion to combat the Zika virus and $500 million for flood relief in Louisiana and other states. This is a 10-week funding bill. Its contents command broad support. It contains 0 controversial riders, said the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell before the vote. Democrats in the Senate and House of Representatives vowed to oppose the resolution until Republicans agree to a Flint aid package that the Senate passed by a 95-3 margin this month as part of a separate water resource bill. Democrats who say it's unfair to aid flood-ravaged areas and not Flint want Republicans to include Flint aid in the CR or version of the water resources bill that the House will vote on this week. And Republicans say they'll consider Flint later. Both sides say the aid package is paid for. It's just, look at how it got all complicated. So government shutdown is looming. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, the former Republican presidential candidate, voted against the bill a week after he tried unsuccessfully to add a provision preventing oversight of the Internet's technical management from being transferred on October 1st to a global community of stakeholders. Interesting. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Government shutdown. Remember that fun in late 2012? And everybody's like, is it going to shut down? Are we going to get out of it? Well, it did shut down. And it was talks, and Ted Cruz was opposed to the talks, and finally it all wrapped up. Just like we're going to wrap up this show. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. We got to something. I'm suffering from a head wound. So, please, be merciful on me. Next show, we're going to bring you the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster. Have a wonderful non-head injury day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!